My name's Dave Jenkins. I'm currently head teacher of Ysgol Cork in Taff. I went into teaching really because of my schooling experience in itself. I was schooled in Stanmore Comprehensive School in Penarth and thoroughly enjoyed school. Really motivated by the lessons I had there and what I learned there. After that I went to Loughborough University and studied geography and economics there. And after that I went to Cambridge University. So I've always had a passion for learning. I've always been involved in learning. And it's always been something that I've really wanted to get into. Whilst at Cambridge, my passion was really fueled for teaching, and I was lucky enough to do PGCE in Cambridge University, and then did some quite a lot of teaching prac around my subject, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I worked in an independent school, in a mainstream community college, which really gave me more fuel, I guess, to become a teacher. I moved back to Cardiff then. I always wanted to bring up a family and moved back to Cardiff in 2005. Ready to seek a profession in special educational needs, and that's exactly what I did, and I've thrived on it and loved it ever since. So when I moved back to Cardiff in 2005, I signed up with quite a lot of agencies, really just to get my first kind of teaching job back in Cardiff. ESS phoned me within an afternoon, I think it was, and told me they had some work for me in a local special school in the Vale of Glamorgan, which was then Ashgrove School for autistic youngsters, which has now become Ysgol Derry. So within an afternoon of me signing with the ESS, they found me some employment, and the message was quite clear. Do you want to go and work in a special school? Would it be something you're interested in? Do you want to give it a go? And of course I bit their hand off because it was something I always wanted to do. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity, and kind of I just really engaged with it from the first day, really. So yeah, they were the first one to find me some work. So I think supply courier is definitely a very effective way of getting into teaching. To put it in context of my experience, when I joined ESS, I was a qualified teacher. However, the first role ESS found me in that first afternoon was as a support assistant. So I spent a couple of weeks in a support assistant capacity in schools. I turned down other teaching jobs as a way of getting into to special ed in a teaching assistant role, which I loved. I thought that was a really effective way for me to get used to the sector, get used to the particular school, and from there I became a teacher and stayed there for 5 years. So I would definitely see that supply teaching is a way of getting into teaching, a very effective way of doing that. So my advice to NQT is trying to get into teaching. I mean, I qualified in 2005, so you know I've a very relatively short space of time. I've managed to be an NQT all the way through to head teacher. I've done that by being proactive in my career. I've done that by seeking out opportunities to work with lots of different schools, going to visit lots of different schools, on a voluntary basis, trying to make as many contacts as I could in the profession so I can learn from high quality teaching and learning that's out there. I would urge NQTs to do exactly the same thing. There's a big drive in Welsh Government at the moment about school-to-school working and the impact that networking and working with other schools has on raising standards. So I would see an NQT as a very first port of call, is to get into other classes in the school, learn from best practice that exists within your school, but then also try and get out into other schools and see where the good practice is, and in order for you to replicate it. The best part of being a head teacher is definitely working with children, no doubt about that. As a class teacher, that's obviously why I went into teaching, and to influence the futures of 8 or 9 children's lives in a special school was a hugely rewarding thing for me. So it was the next logical step for me to become an assistant head, then a deputy head, and then a head teacher, because I get to influence and shape the futures of so many children's and adults' lives. And it's an incredibly rewarding job. Very difficult job, very varied job. I don't think there is a more varied job than being a head teacher, but one I absolutely love.